Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that might surprise and even shock you. Why do married women seek adventures outside their marriage? At first glance, it seems like a paradox. Many women have loving husbands, stable homes, and families they cherish. So why do they still feel drawn towards something or someone beyond the boundaries of their marriage? Is it just about passion? Or is there something deeper at play? This video will uncover the 5 most significant reasons why even devoted wives may stray. But here's the key insight: it's rarely just about sex. While physical intimacy matters, for most women the real motivation comes from emotional hunger, a fading spark, and a deep desire to feel indeed seen and appreciated. Ensure you watch until the end, because we'll also discuss how men can prevent this from happening by understanding what women crave in a relationship. Now, let's get started. 1. Emotional hunger, the silent killer of relationships. Women seek emotional fulfillment just as much, if not more, than physical intimacy. A woman can have everything society tells her should make her happy: a stable marriage, financial security, children, and a predictable routine. Still, if she feels emotionally starved, the foundation of the relationship begins to crack. Unlike men, who often stray due to physical temptation, women are drawn to affairs when they feel emotionally disconnected. It is not about lust. It is about feeling seen, valued, and desired. When emotional intimacy fades, she starts longing for something more that makes her feel alive again. Picture a familiar scenario. A husband returns home after a long day, drops his bag by the door, greets his wife with a nod, eats dinner in silence while scrolling through his phone, and then falls asleep in front of the TV. His presence is there, but his attention is absent. Meanwhile, his wife, who once felt cherished and adored, now feels like a background character in her marriage. She craves conversation, laughter, and a sense of connection. But those moments become rare. She does not wake up one day and decide to seek validation elsewhere. It happens gradually. First, she starts reminiscing about how things used to be. Then, she begins noticing the men who give her attention, compliment her, listen with curiosity, and remind her of the spark she is missing. And when she finally steps outside of the marriage for that emotional connection, it is not because she stopped loving her husband, but because she no longer feels loved by him. Emotional neglect is rarely intentional. Most men assume that as long as they provide, remain faithful, and avoid conflict, they are doing their part. They do not realize that a woman does not just want stability, she wants to feel chosen every single day. She wants to feel like she is still the woman who initially captivated him, not just a partner in a routine. Small gestures, asking about her day with genuine interest, surprising her with a simple act of affection, whispering a compliment when she least expects it. These are the things that keep her heart engaged. Women do not drift because they want to leave. They drift because they feel unseen. The solution is simple but requires effort. Keep the emotional connection alive. Be present when she speaks, not just physically but mentally. Make her feel desired, not just needed. Through words and actions, remind her that she is still the only woman in your world, because when a woman feels emotionally fulfilled, she does not look elsewhere. She only looks at the man who makes her feel that way. 2. Lack of passion, when marriage becomes a routine. In the beginning, everything is electric. The slightest touch ignites sparks, and every conversation feels alive with possibility. The attraction is effortless, fueled by mystery, excitement, and the thrill of the unknown. But as time passes, that fire, once burning so intensely, begins to dim. The passion that once defined the relationship fades into the background, replaced by routine, obligations, and the comfortable predictability of daily life. What was once an intimate and exhilarating connection now feels like a series of scheduled interactions performed more out of habit than desire. For many couples, intimacy becomes an afterthought. Between work, responsibilities, and the exhaustion of daily life, moments of closeness become mechanical, rushed, and uninspired. They wait for the rare, quiet moments when the children are asleep or when the demands of the day finally subside, only to find that exhaustion precedes desire. Once spontaneous and deeply passionate, physical connection feels more like a chore, something to check off a list rather than an experience to savor. Conversations become repetitive, interactions lack novelty, and the spark that once made everything feel alive slowly fades into the background. A woman may not immediately recognize this shift, but she feels it. At first, she suppresses the dissatisfaction, convincing herself that this happens in long-term relationships. She tells herself that passion naturally fades, that comfort is a fair trade for excitement, and that love remains even when the fire has diminished. But then, something unexpected happens. A simple compliment from a colleague, a moment of flirtation from a stranger, or even an interaction that reminds her of the woman she used to be, the woman who once felt desired, pursued, and truly alive. It is not that she is actively seeking external validation, but when she feels overlooked for too long, the smallest act of attention from the outside world can awaken something within her. It reminds her of what she has been missing, what she once had, and what she still craves. This does not mean she will act on temptation. The danger lies in the emotional shift. She begins to question. She wonders if the passion she once felt was simply an illusion, and if the man she loved could still ignite the fire she thought had been extinguished. And if this feeling lingers, the gap between them grows wider if she feels neglected. Not because she has stopped loving him, but because she has stopped feeling alive in his presence. The mistake many men make is assuming that effort is no longer required once a relationship reaches a certain level of stability. But passion is not something that naturally sustains itself. It must be nurtured, fed, and protected. A woman does not need grand gestures or constant novelty, but needs to feel desired. She needs to feel seen, not just as a wife, not just as a mother, but as a woman. The solution is not complicated, but it does require intention. A man who understands this does not let intimacy become a routine obligation. He keeps the fire alive by maintaining curiosity, engaging in conversations beyond the surface, and ensuring that touch is not reserved solely for moments of physical intimacy, but is a natural and ongoing part of their connection. He does not assume he knows everything about her. He continues to explore, ask, and learn. He brings unpredictability into the relationship, not through grand gestures, but through the smallest moments of spontaneity that remind her she is still the woman who once made his heart race. Passion does not die because love fades. It dies because attention wanes, because desire is taken for granted. After all, familiarity is mistaken for inevitability. But a man who chooses to see his woman, to see her, even after years together, indeed understands that passion is not lost. It is simply waiting to be awakened again. 3. The husband becomes a friend, not a lover. A man rarely realizes when he transitions from being his wife's lover to merely a companion. Over the years, it happens gradually as responsibilities grow, routines set in, and the fiery passion of the early days fades into something softer, more comfortable. At first, this shift feels natural. After all, Isn't a strong relationship built on companionship, understanding, and emotional support? But beneath this stability surface lies an unseen danger, the slow erosion of the masculine energy that once ignited desire. A man who was once bold, confident, and assertive in the relationship now prioritizes harmony over dominance, comfort over excitement, predictability over mystery. And while a woman may love her husband for his kindness, support, and reliability, she will not crave him for these things. A woman's attraction to a man is not based solely on love. It is rooted in the dynamic tension between masculine and feminine energy. She may deeply care for her husband, appreciate his presence, and value the life they have built together. But if he no longer awakens her feminine side, something inside her begins to feel unfulfilled. This dissatisfaction is rarely immediate or conscious. She does not wake up one day and decide she no longer desires him. Instead, she starts to notice the absence of something intangible yet undeniable. The way he once took control without hesitation, looked at her with fire in his eyes, and made her feel like a woman in the fullest sense of the word. And as this void grows, so does her subconscious search for someone who can fill it. Attrition is not logical, it is primal. A woman may remain faithful in action, but in her mind she begins to gravitate toward men who exude the masculine energy her husband has let fade. It could be the confident colleague who speaks with authority and moves with purpose, the personal trainer whose physical presence and unwavering discipline remind her of strength and dominance. The stranger locks eyes with her in a way that makes her feel seen, desired, and feminine. These encounters do not always lead to infidelity, nor are they always pursued, but they serve as a stark reminder of what is missing. And once a woman realizes what she lacks, she cannot unsee it. The solution is not for a man to beg for attention or attempt to rekindle attraction through words alone. A woman does not respond to explanations, she responds to energy. If a husband wants to reclaim his position as her lover, he must shift his actions, mindset, and presence. He must stop seeking comfort in passivity and reclaim his leadership role. Assertiveness is not aggression, it is the quiet confidence of a man who knows his worth. A man who decides rather than asks, who leads rather than follows, taking control, choosing the restaurant instead of deferring, initiating intimacy rather than waiting for permission, setting the tone rather than adapting to hers, can reignite the dormant spark. Flirting does not end with courtship. A man who keeps attraction alive understands that playfulness, teasing, and unpredictability are essential. He does not settle into the role of an old friend who merely shares a life with his wife. He remains the man who once made her heart race. A single lingering touch, a slow whisper in her ear, a firm pull toward him instead of a passive embrace, are the subtle yet powerful reminders that he is not just her partner. He is still the man who can awaken something profound inside her. A woman does not stop wanting to feel feminine. She does not stop craving the presence of a man who makes her feel small in his arms yet secure in his strength. She does not stop desiring a man who leads her, not because he needs control, but because it allows her to surrender. If her husband will enable himself to fade into the background of her life, she may still love him, but she will no longer need him as she once did. But he will never lose her if he understands that attraction must be maintained, not assumed. Because while love may be built on comfort, desire thrives in tension, and a woman will always long for the man who knows how to keep that tension alive. 4. Feeling underappreciated when efforts go unnoticed. A woman in a long-term relationship does not wake up one day and suddenly feel unappreciated. It is a slow process, an accumulation of unnoticed efforts, unacknowledged gestures, and a gradual fading of the attention she once received. Initially, her partner admired everything about her, how she styled her hair, the perfume she wore, the warmth she brought into his life. But as time passed, those small details became routine, the compliments became less frequent, the moments of appreciation dwindled, and what was once extraordinary became expected. She still puts in the effort, choosing outfits with care, maintaining the home, and supporting him emotionally. But when those gestures go unnoticed, a quiet void grows inside her. The irony is that this absence of appreciation is often invisible to the man. He may still love her deeply and value her presence, but he assumes she knows it. He thinks that she should feel secure in his love. He is still there because he has not left, and continues to provide and protect. He fails to realize that women do not measure love in grand gestures alone. They feel it in the subtle moments, in the small affirmations, in the way a man continues to notice and cherish the things he once adored about her. And then, one day, another man notices. He sees the way her eyes light up when she laughs. He compliments the new dress she carefully chose, and he remarks on the fragrance she selected with intention. It is not that she is looking for validation elsewhere. It is that she is reminded of what it feels like to be indeed seen. This contrast is dangerous, not because she actively seeks attention from others, but because it highlights what she has been missing at home. The stark difference between how the world treats her and how the man treats her she loves creates an emotional gap that, if left unaddressed, may lead her to justify seeking appreciation elsewhere. Affairs are rarely about physical desire alone. They are often about feeling valued, admired, and desired in a way that has faded within the relationship. A man who understands this does not wait for his woman to express her loneliness before he acts. He does not assume she feels fulfilled because she is still there. He nurtures the connection by making her feel appreciated, not through extravagant gestures but consistency. He notices the small things. He tells her she looks beautiful, even when she is not expecting it. He acknowledges the effort she puts into their home, relationship, and life together. He makes her feel seen, not just as his partner, but as a woman who still captivates his attention. A strong man balances confidence with emotional intelligence. He does not smother her with empty words, nor take her presence for granted. He understands that attraction is about chemistry and feeling desired, valued, and recognized. And when a woman feels genuinely appreciated by the man she loves, she has no reason to seek that validation elsewhere. 5. The desire to reconnect with youth. There comes a point in every long-term relationship where routine sets in, where the thrill that once defined the early days fades into the background of familiarity. This transition can feel like a loss for women, not just of passion, but of a part of themselves. They remember what it was like to be pursued with intensity, feel the electricity of a new romance, and live in a world where excitement and spontaneity were the norm rather than the exception. And as time passes, as responsibilities pile up and the day-to-day replaces the extraordinary, they begin to crave something they can't quite put into words. It's not just about missing the past, it's about missing the version of themselves they were back then, the version that felt desired, adored, and truly alive. This is why many women, even those in committed relationships, are drawn to the possibility of something new. It's not always about wanting a different man, it's about wanting to feel the way they once did. Affairs often start not with a conscious desire to betray, but with an unconscious longing to relive the emotions of youth. A woman may meet someone who reminds her of what it was like to be chased, excited, and feel that unmistakable rush of anticipation. And if her current relationship has settled into monotony, if her partner has stopped making an effort, the temptation to seek that feeling elsewhere grows stronger. Most men assume that keeping a woman happy means providing stability and security. While those things are essential, they are not enough. A woman does not simply want to be cared for. She wants to be kept on her toes. She wants moments that take her breath away, surprises that remind her she is still the vibrant, passionate woman she has always been. This does not mean grand gestures or extravagant gifts. It means never allowing complacency to take hold. It means creating experiences together, breaking out routines, and injecting unpredictability into the relationship. A spontaneous weekend trip, an unexpected note left in her purse, a sudden decision to dance with her in the kitchen. These small moments keep the excitement alive. Attraction is not just about love, it's about energy. When a man stops bringing new energy into the relationship, he stops leading with confidence and creativity, and the dynamic shifts. She begins to see him not as the man who once made her heart race, but as a fixture of predictability. And predictability over time dulls desire. This is why relationships that lack adventure often feel stagnant. The woman may still love her partner, but love alone does not sustain passion. Passion is sustained through movement, through change, through the unexpected. A man who understands this does not allow his relationship to become routine. He keeps life with him exciting, not because he fears losing her, but because he understands human nature. He knows that a woman does not stop wanting to feel desired just because time has passed. He recognizes that passion does not simply exist, it must be cultivated, nurtured, and reignited repeatedly. And when he does this and continuously breathes life into the connection, she does not feel the need to seek excitement elsewhere, because the thrill she longs for is already right in front of her. Conclusion: the real reason women cheat. At the core of it all, most women don't seek affairs to destroy their families. They do it because they feel emotionally unfulfilled. It's not just about physical attraction. It's about longing for excitement, appreciation, and a connection that makes them feel truly alive. When emotional neglect sets in, the risk of infidelity rises. The key takeaway is clear. A man who wants to keep his woman loyal must consistently nurture emotional and physical intimacy. He must remain confident, strong, and passionate, never allowing the relationship to fall into stagnation. Appreciation, effort, and leadership are not just optional but essential. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you seen these dynamics play out in relationships? What do you think is the most critical factor in maintaining long-term attraction? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content on relationships, psychology, and self-improvement. See you in the next one.